You feel it, don't you? The silence isn't clean. It's heavy, unfinished. And even though your Gen XX says nothing, something about the way they disappeared doesn't feel like closure. If you've ever wondered whether they regret losing you, but are too proud, too guarded, or too emotionally trained to say it, this is for you. Because Gen X doesn't regret loudly. They regret quietly. And here's what most people miss. Gen X grew up in a world where emotions weren't processed out loud. They learned to survive heartbreak, not discuss it. Psychology research suggests that people raised in emotionally restrained environments often internalize regret instead of expressing it. So if your ex is Gen X, their silence doesn't automatically mean indifference. Sometimes it means they're drowning in feelings they don't know how to say. Here are 7 signs your Gen XX regrets losing you, but stays silent. Sign 1. They never truly detached. Gen X doesn't jump from one deep attachment to another easily. When they love, it's steady, loyal, almost stubborn. Studies show attachment bonds formed in early adulthood can stay psychologically active for years, especially in those who value long-term stability. So, if they still watch your stories, still accidentally react, still ask mutual friends about you without directly reaching out, that's not random. They may act distant, but emotionally, they never fully unplugged. Here's the twist. Gen X would rather observe you quietly than risk rejection again. Their pride protects them, but their curiosity exposes them. Sign 2. They keep your memory alive in subtle ways. They don't erase you. They don't badmouth you. They don't rewrite history to make you the villain. Instead, they go silent, reflective. Behavior experts often notice that when someone regrets losing a meaningful partner, they protect the memory instead of destroying it. If your Gen XX still holds on to shared playlists, inside jokes, or places you used to go together, that's not nostalgia. That's unfinished emotion. And unfinished emotion doesn't disappear just because time passes. Sign 3. They changed after you left. This one is deeper. Have you noticed they started working on themselves after the breakup? Therapy, gym, career focus, emotional growth. When regret hits a Gen X heart, it doesn't explode outward. It turns inward. They replay conversations, missed chances, words they didn't say. Psychology research suggests regret often becomes a catalyst for self-improvement, especially in emotionally reserved personalities. So, if they're suddenly becoming the person you once wished they were, that's not coincidence. That's reflection. And this is where it gets interesting. They may never admit that your absence triggered that change, but your absence did something to them. Sign 4. They don't move on emotionally, even if they move on physically. Gen X can date. They can distract. They can appear fine. But emotional detachment, that's slower. If every new connection they have looks surface level, if relationships don't last, if they avoid public commitment, it could be because comparison is happening quietly. You set a standard, and when someone regrets losing a real bond, everything after feels slightly off. They won't say it, but they feel it. Sign 5. They respond to your silence. Gen X respects boundaries, but they also test emotional distance. If you pulled back, and suddenly they became more reactive, more visible, more accidentally present in your digital world, that's not random. Silence psychology shows that emotional withdrawal often activates attachment fear in someone who regrets losing connection. Your silence becomes loud to them. And here's the part nobody talks about. Gen X hates chasing, but they hate being forgotten even more. If they sense you're truly moving forward, it unsettles them. Not because they want control, but because they didn't expect to lose you for real. Sign 6. They communicate indirectly. Gen X doesn't send long emotional paragraphs. They send songs, short check-ins, neutral messages with heavy undertones. Hope you're doing well. I saw something that reminded me of you. Small words, big weight. Behavior experts often notice that emotionally guarded people express regret through proximity, not confession. They hover. They don't declare. They stay just close enough to not disappear. And if you're paying attention, you feel it. Sign 7. You still feel the emotional thread. This one is less logical, more intuitive. Even in silence, there's a pull. You think of them at random moments. You sense when something shifts. You feel unfinished energy. And before you dismiss that as imagination, psychology research suggests unresolved attachment creates persistent cognitive activation, meaning, when closure hasn't emotionally happened, the brain keeps revisiting the bond. So if you still feel connected, there's a chance they do too. But here's the deeper realization. Regret doesn't always lead to action. Gen X was raised to endure pain quietly, to survive mistakes, to live with it. Sometimes they carry regret like a private scar. They won't beg. They won't overshare. They won't dramatize. They will sit with it. And the hardest truth? Sometimes they regret you deeply, but their pride, fear, or emotional wiring keeps them silent. So what does this mean for you? It means their silence isn't proof you meant nothing. It means their quiet might be full. But most people miss this. Your power isn't in proving they regret you. Your power is in knowing your value didn't disappear just because they couldn't express it. If they truly regret losing you, time will reveal it, either through growth, through action, or through the way they never fully replace what you were. And if they don't act, then their regret becomes their lesson, not your burden. If this resonated, comment, "I feel this," and subscribe for more psychology insights about silence, regret, and real emotional behavior.